What's up, everybody? It's Rodrigo with Asheville Cash Buyers. Today we're bringing you episode, forgot to check before we jumped on here, but I think it's episode 15 maybe. And we're going to be talking about how offers are calculated, at least from our perspective. So when an offer is made, it's just a number that gets thrown out there a lot of times. But today I'm going to give you a little bit of the context and the background as far as at least the way we typically approach things. So today's topic is how we make offers. And maybe, you know what? Let's replace this word. How we calculate offers is going to be the better way. Whew. Don't check on my spelling too much, but that is calculate. So how we calculate offers. And it's not really a formula, but this is more about like the criteria that we look at or the things that we consider. So we're going to talk about some round numbers today, not specific to any property or anything like that, but just as a easy round number, we're going to talk about a house starting with $100,000. And what is that starting point? So the way we start at things, and in our experience, most people look at things in a very similar way to this. Everybody's going to have their own little tweaks, but the generic outline is going to be the same. So we start with what we call the value. Let's just call it market value. Market value is what the market's going to say for your house. It's not what a house is listed for. It's not what a house is, what you're asking for your house or anything like that. A market value is what has houses sold for. And what we do is we'll look at what are called comparables. If you go back to, I think it's the first Whiteboard Wednesday we did, you look at the acronyms. What's a CMA, comparable market analysis. We'll look at, depending where your house is, a quarter mile or smaller or a half mile or whatnot. Look into the neighborhood, look into things that are specific to your house, and we'll look, say, hey, what have houses like yours, what have they sold for? And that's what's going to determine the market value. We'll do market value, then we'll do minus repairs. So what does the house need? Does the house need $3,000, $5,000 because it just needs to make a new paint job and nothing else? Or does it need a full-blown rehab? Like, for instance, today we went and looked at a house, and just the cleanup of the house before you did any construction work was going to be in that $3,000 to $5,000 range, just because there's a lot of stuff and there's just a lot of cleaning that had to do before you even got into the house. So what are the repairs? And then we also calculate is what's the cost of owning it. The things that are calculated in here are things like you got to pay taxes, insurance, and money. So whether you're borrowing money and you're paying interest on the money, or you're using your own capital, you're going to be paying a cost for it, right? It's an opportunity cost. If you have $100,000 and you buy one $100,000 house, until you sell that house again or you recoup your money in rent, you can't do anything else. So there's a cost for using the money, whether again you're paying interest on it or you're using, taking up opportunity on it. And then we take those things, and that's going to spit out a number. So let's run through it really quickly. Let's just say the market house for this, the market value for this house is $100,000, $100,000, right? Let's say it needs $20,000 in repair, and it needs, say we're going to own it for a little while. We're going to estimate that it's going to cost us, oh, I forgot one thing, sorry, utilities. Say it's going to be like $5,000 to own it for, I don't know, a year or whatnot. So before you even calculate the cost of attorney fees or commissions or anything like that, best case scenario, the offer on a house like that is going to be $75,000. Best case scenario. And out of this number, you're going to still calculate another 6% because of realtor fees, and then another, give or take, say $2,000 in closing costs. So very quickly, this number can become 65, no problem. And you might be like, hey, my house doesn't need a lot of work, or it's got really good bones, it's in a great neighborhood, etc. But when you're pricing your house out, the best way to get a really good competitive offer that you can trust is going to close is to keep in mind what are the things that have to happen for your house to be resold again, or to be re-rented, depending what type of buyer you're talking to, or what your real estate agent is recommending the highest and best use of your property is. So when you hear numbers that might seem far away, like 65 to 100,000 feels like it's a big distance, it's a big chasm to jump across. When you put all the math together, it can add up and it can make sense. So just want to encourage everybody to reach out to us if you have any questions on how we do this or why we look at things the way we do. Love to get into you. It's something that there's not a lot of secret to it. There's no mystery to it. It's pretty straightforward. It's just crunching numbers. And if you have any questions, like I said, drop us a comment, reach out to us. You can find us online anywhere at Asheville Cash Buyers. Thanks guys, take care, and look forward to seeing you all next